Rush Limbaugh says the First Amendment doesn't give the press immunity from criticism. Scottie, Nell, Hughes here. And the reaction of the press to the president has been quite fun to watch, not only during the campaign or prior to the inauguration, but definitely in office. See, for the first time in history, it looks like the press needs the president more than the president needs the press. And it's been fun to watch as those in the press who despise this president try to stay relevant. Rush Limbaugh picked up on this as he noticed from Chuck Todd, who taught him that, you know what, these press folks think that they're immune because of the freedom of the press. It gives them the opportunity to criticize, to delegitimize, to spread lies and destroy a politician's life just because basically they don't like it. And he says that it's amazing to watch these press members think they have the right to do that. And how dare you question this, because that's you questioning the Constitution. The reaction of the media to President Trump's tweet labeling them as enemy of the American people has literally set some of their hair on fire. Well, I hate to tell you, my constituents, my fellow members of the press, guess what? We do have the freedom of speech. We do have the freedom of the press, but we also have the freedom of truth. And when you continuously spread lies with one purpose and one goal only, which is to destroy the work of the current president of the United States and to delegitimize him amongst the Americans' mindset, you are not protected from immunity. In fact, you deserve every bit of criticism that you get. Sure, both sides have made a mistake. Some things coming out of the administration, the rollout of the temporary travel ban was truly a disaster. I think we all understand that. But you also look at the false stories that are coming out of not what they consider to be the online fake news sites. No, it's coming out of mainstream news sources. I mean, I think last week they reported 33 different fake news stories that were brought out. But here's what's interesting about this. This is nothing new. The press has not changed just because Donald J. Trump was elected president. The press has always been this way. What has happened is we finally have a politician willing to call them out on it, willing to say, listen, for the last forever, you have been going after spreading lies and destroying a politician without any sort of conscience about it, just because you did not like what that person stood for. And it's not going to happen. In fact, here's the genius of Donald Trump. He took the narrative of fake news to which the mainstream media came up with to try to delegitimize those outlets that were actually putting out the truth about and positive stories about President Trump and other Republicans and conservatives, what they were doing. And he flipped it on them. And he started showing where the real fake news was coming from, where the real fake stories are coming from. Yes, sure, you find sometimes some retractions come in little lines, say, oh, we were wrong about this point, we were wrong about this. Great case and example, look at what happened in Russia. That's all we've heard is the Russian connections to the Trump administration. Russia, 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 Russia. Finally, yesterday, Huffington Post comes out and says, guess what? The Clintons did have a huge connection to Russia. Hillary Clinton was in charge of selling Uranium Run, which gave 20% of all control of uranium in the world to Russia. Bill Clinton, yes, he gave a speech at the Russian bank in Moscow. Finally, a little late, but once again, this is what they do. They can spread all sorts of lies and then later on to try to redeem themselves when it doesn't matter, they tell the truth. Well, the buck has stopped here, and I think you see the press, their heads continue to melt and explode as they try to figure out how they're going to get around a president who calls them on the carpet.